Anyway, I saw him running, and he jumped our fence. He had a rifle in his hand. I ran out the back.
So who there was one guy you saw running?
Yes, and he's the owner of the cattle, and he claimed that the 4 dogs killed a calf, and so somebody called him. He came, and he shot one of your dogs on our property. And he told my husband he was taking it to, I don't know if animal control or where he took it. So
you didn't necessarily see him kill the dog?
Oh, I did.
Oh.
So,
okay.
But he claims that they killed the calf. So you
didn't see the dogs killing a calf?
No, I did not.
Okay.
They were in our backyard. We have a swimming pool that just has a little bit of water in it. They were down there getting a drink. And so I went out and I petted all the dogs, and I took the collar off one of them so I could call you.
Yeah.
And so I have a collar here.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, thank you.
That he jumped our fence with a weapon and shot an animal. No questions about it.
Yeah.
I think we'll do what we can do.
Oh, and there's no question about it that fence that runs along there, a dog can't get through.
Right.
And so you see a trail leading all along that cross fence. It ends at that corner. He has nowhere to go. He picks him up, throws him over the fence, realizing he's trying to cover his ass. Realized he was on your property. Runs back to his truck, picks him up. He's still alive, and he has a living dog when he drives away. So that's what we know. That's clear as day. He had 3 holes in him.
You know, like I said, I hit
one here and one straight in his chest.
Did you you took some pictures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as soon as I hit that back,
look, the blood goes
you could see him.
Yeah. Well,
I saw one shot.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, I was telling my wife she probably ought to file a report, because what he did was totally illegal as far as coming onto somebody else's property with a gun. I mean, that's serious.
Not only that, if we were in the middle, if your property was way out there, way up in the forest, look. I mean, like, there's horses, there's people, there's kids. You're not in the fucking Wild West, middle of nowhere right now. You're literally in basically a suburban area. Right. Part of a major city. It is. Kingman's a major, and this is absolutely. If this ever was okay before, it can't keep doing this shit now when you got houses around.
Right. Well, I looked that up too on the internet, and they said people have to go to the Board of Supervisors, and then they have to ask for a no fence district, which means it's no longer open range. And just like you said, with all the houses around here and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's time that this stops. I mean,
yeah.
They got 100 million acres or whatever all the way down that.
Yeah.
And there's no difference between that. It's not like there's more grass over here or something. I mean, it's just more places for the cows to come break your fence to get to your grass. But in terms of, they got plenty of space that way. They got all those mountains over there. It's all fair game. Why are the cows even here?
At one point, Keenman went from open range to no fence, and
I think that's where we're at now.
It's time to approach the Board of Supervisors, but it's incidents like this is what's going to make them listen to you.
Exactly. We've been even, the reason even down the line, if you tell me blur your face or whatever, we'll do it. But what we're going to do is we're compiling as much video as we can. We've been talking to even media might be the approach, because once there's enough attention, because honestly, this county's crooked as you can imagine. All these guys, they own the government, and they really do believe that they're way above ever. They could just do whatever they want like this. That's why he felt so confident that he could do this. First of all, how crazy of a guy do you have to be? He's a young guy. His wife is about to give birth. He's got all the money in the world. Even if it was over one cow, which I don't think there's any evidence to show, but he risked his life to come and do this. You could have.
I looked that up too, and it's a very serious matter. You're not just trespassing when you come onto someone else's property without permission. When you're holding a gun
It's a
and
threat.
you come onto somebody's property without permission, it bumps it up to a felony, and you're looking at 5 years.
Kid took my belt.
Well, that's I'm just praying that we can do this the right way. This
Well,
obviously we're not really in the Wild West. If we were in the Wild West, things would be handled by now. But we're acting like civilized
That's
people.
what I told my wife. I said that the right thing to do is to file a report, because you don't know whether you're the first or the last. Maybe there's several other people who have filed reports, and the prosecutor might say at this time, okay,
It's a tipping
dealt with
point.
it
I think
enough.
it's a tipping point.
There's a paper trail. We've dealt with this enough. It's time to end it.
And I'll tell you, the range detective was supposed to, animal control showed up bright and early yesterday to give me citations. Didn't let me file a police report the night before. They wouldn't let me before he came out to give me tickets. They literally, we've on record, we've called several times trying to file a police report. They won't let us. So I'm telling these guys, I'm like, you guys should start being careful, because this might have gotten by in the past, but you're all incriminating yourselves for what? Like
That's what I'm saying is, we're the ones who own the property here. We're the ones that the trespass took place.
Yeah.
We're the ones that somebody with a weapon trespassed on.
When we
our
can't prove,
property,
we can't.
shot an animal.
Yeah.
We're the ones who should be filing the police report.
Well, I was filing one because the whole thing is when I came. So basically, when I wasn't here, but when Norman was going to get water, he sees Willie in the area. He thinks he sees him go down the street that leads to my.
I saw him go down your road.
Okay, so he sees.
I was driving by, but I didn't see him stop at Shane's.
So it probably caught your eye because he doesn't usually do that. But you're like, okay, whatever. Like he's maybe going to look for his cat. I don't know what he's doing. But then by the time he gets back, all my dogs are there with the gate open. My gate can't. I mean, okay, we're gonna pretend the dogs open the gate. Give me a break, But like we probably can't. I was trying to file one because first of all to protect my own ass, and then also. If he came on to my property, trespassed, opened the gate, let the dogs out just to do this, well,
I don't think that happened, and here's the reason why: is because he was complaining. He drove 40 miles to get here because a neighbor called and said that dogs were harassing his cat.
Okay.
And so that sounded to me like, hey, I mean, do you know where he lives? He said he came 40 miles to get here.
He said he drove 40 miles. And so I said to him, if he
I know
drove
where he
40
lives.
miles, how
Oh,
do you know
really?
these dogs did this?
Right.
Oh, really? Then it's entirely possible that.
So he might have been on his way. I don't know, man. But what I'm saying is we can't necessarily. We don't have enough clear. We without lying, we can't prove that it was him that did that. But in this case, you
have a case for this.
and it might help me out a lot because I have to go defend myself against criminal charges now after my dogs, and they're trying to threaten me with this and that. And I'm like, I'm the victim here, dude.
There's no state statute that could cause that to be a felony.
Well, this is what I'm saying is, it's definitely against the law to come onto somebody else's property, which, I mean, that's the reason she ran out of the house. She says, Gary, there's somebody running across our property with a gun.
Yeah.
And she came out here, and then she heard the gunshot. And then she saw him jump back over the fence. And of course, then he wasn't on the property. And she informed me, well, you're still not on Ruby's property because that law right there doesn't belong to Ruby.
He says, I
You know
thought I
what's
was
crazy?
on
You know
Ruby's.
what the craziest part about this is?
Well, thought you were and you were
So-
wrong. That's
But
okay.
the crazy part is.
Sorry, I thought it was my
later,
friend's
after-
car I was taking.
After he had already talked to you, because when I went over there and I came back, I had this weird thing with animals. Like it's weird. It's just weird. So it's his dog, but I'm like, dude, it's off with your dog. I can feel some energy going.
Well, by the time I got there, he was already there, and he sees the gate open, but my dogs are there, so it seems like normal. And so I get back and I just do a quick count, and I think for a second, okay, I don't know, it seems like they're all here, and then
We went inside the truck, the van, looked, and that's when we were like.
well, that's when I realized that I was looking in my trailer. I'm like, okay, oh, we're fucking missing one. There, and then so that's I don't know.
See, they were all four at our swimming pool getting a drink.
The four black ones. So there wasn't a gold one because I actually have okay.
She came out, petted them. They were friendly. She took the collar off of one so she would know who to call.
Yep.
And then it was after that the dog got shot.
Yeah.
And like
And
I
that's
said,
important because they were not actively attacking
no,
at that moment, and that's pretty much the only thing that matters.
Really screwed.
right.
That's to justify if they were in the act of doing what he says to the cow right here, and then he
still
just
can't come on our property and
Yeah.
shoot it without our permission.
Right.
That's where he screwed up.
Yeah, but,
And there are
yeah.
witnesses to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, by the way, Nick
just
messaged
nuts.
me because Ruby talked to him for whatever reason, and he goes, "I wasn't outside. I didn't call nobody. I didn't see what happened. I wasn't part of it. I'm on a bike conference. I wasn't there. I keep to myself. I wasn't outside."
Yeah,
So,
and he stood right out there. And
yeah, I have
he
the
was-
messages.
yeah.
But what's the crazy part is why they felt justified and why I think the cops ain't doing nothing. Is after we had spoken to you, we were looking around. I went to town. I went to got some more water. As I was coming back, I noticed that Willie was on this side of the fence with his trailer getting some horses. So I kept on going and go. So he started driving, but he pulled over for me to go in front of him. So I went in front of him, and when I get to the dirt road, I kind of like to fly, whatever. So I went down there, and I know exactly where he's going. So I called him and I said, "Hey, come block the road so we can talk to him." He didn't get there right in time enough, but
well, because I thought he might.
yeah.
I didn't even think to check my voicemail at that moment. So I saw your text, and then I just go looking for him, thinking, oh, they might be over here, they might be over there.
Yeah.
Then by the time I get back,
So Willie,
he's just driving by.
Yeah, so I parked like this, and you can either go this way or you can go in the right to go right. I stopped him, he was in a hurry, and I was like, and then I blocked him. I was like, "What's up, man? What's going on?" I said, "One of my friend's dog got shot. Do you know anything about it?" He goes, "Oh, no, but one of those dogs attacked my cattle."
One of those dogs.
One of these dogs. I said, "Well, they're Shane's dogs," and he's like, "Well, I don't know if they're Shane's dogs or not." But I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you in a rush?" Because I'm dealing with some stuff. And I said, "So you have proof that?" He goes, "Yeah." So he showed me a picture, and it was a picture of a picture. Meaning he took a picture on an iPhone, because you can clearly see the iPhone. You can clearly see that it says February 9th. At 2:53 p.m. was when that photo was taken. That was Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. His dogs, for a fact, were
No, we were hanging out the whole day, and I was home.
We know that.
Yeah, it was my son's birthday. But in that photo, the calf was in because he has that truck he has an extended
So he
calf.
was using something that happened previously
Yes.
to justify
Yes.
what he's doing today.
And to imagine if he actually went so far as to let him out
Here's the issue
to
is-
create this,
is
to
in
try to
that
make this
picture,
justified.
You can see that the cattle is alert and alive. She does have blood on her butt side.
Yeah, that's what he was telling us.
Yes, but that was taken on Sunday at 2:53 p.m. February 9th.
Right.
That's my son's birthday, so I don't.
And there's all sorts of inconsistency. He told the animal control that he put the calf down right away. So there's just nothing but lies. It's like, what is the truth here?
Put the cattle down right away because the cattle was laying down.
He knew when he was visiting with me here. She came out first. I was sick, and then she was finally outside long enough. I decided I better go out too and find out what's going on. So
So you're trying to, because I told him, I said, he went on the neighbors of ours private property and shot the dog. And I said, and he goes, well, he's legally allowed to shoot the dog whether it's on private property or not.
we'll see. He's just
And then
No, that's this open range law that they quote.
Yeah.
It's not a law.
Yeah,
It's crazy how they've been doing this for so long.
that's a crazy law because that's how other people get shot. Is going on to other people.
Well, to me, what's so crazy is that he's willing to risk it.
Then
Willie,
you got the right to shoot him.
that's what I can't believe he risked his life to do this. I mean, like you could have shot him from your deck over there. He would have, and then
Yeah, but that's
For what?
what the deputy told me though.
he
I
risked
said,
his life
he
for
was trying
this.
to say, if-
What a fucking idiot.
If my dog, if I don't have a fencing on my property, right, and there's a dog, my dog attacks the cattle that's on my own property. Then a rancher drives by and sees it, takes his gun, and goes on my private property with a gun I said, I said, no one but
Shot the
me.
dog.
Yeah, they're trying to say it all happened on Ruby's property.
Yeah, see that.
But see, the thing I'm really disturbed about is that because I didn't want him to have to deal with all that, so I'm the one that, we buried him and stuff, but it was just when I put him in the hole so he didn't have to witness all that stuff, I looked and he had an open wound right here in his chest, he had a wound right here that was pretty big, and he had a wound, not in the head, but right here. So there's only
That was to put that. So he was already injured, and he was either walking over here or he was walking over here. He drives up all the way around here, comes up and gives him a.
Because you have a pile right here that's covered.
Yeah.
And then then the line, I have the video goes, and then down at that gate, down at the other fence that goes that way, there's another pile of blood.
Where did you put the? It looked like there was literally like muscle tissue or something.
I have it in my hand. I'm taking it so we can keep
Okay.
it.
Well, like I said, you guys.
So that's just ridiculous. Because there's a big pile here, and then a line, and then a humongous pile.
No, he was walking, and clearly, even if to have a kill shot, what is the justification for that? Because if the dog was a threat, he is no longer a threat when he has a fucking gaping wound in his neck.
That's what was strange. I wonder if he took him somewhere else and shot him a couple more times, because we only heard one shot.
I swear there was only one.
You got to be
shot.
kidding me.
All I heard was
No.
one.
I'm thinking he
He's
put
got
the other
three.
two in somewhere.
Ooh.
He's got 3 holes in him.
Yeah.
Well, and didn't you?
Well, and here's the other thing. When we saw the animal control you saw, I couldn't really bring myself to see. I didn't want the last thing I saw him to be just this bloody mess. And luckily, animal control put him in a bag, and he went and he peeked in there. And
No, didn't even put him in a bag. They had him thrown lopsided like this in just one of the carriers on the truck of the animal control, right? And then I was talking to him, and he was like, he was gonna say step away, but no. So I went over there, and he grabbed on this side, and he grabbed the bag. I thought he was already in the bag, but he wasn't. So he grabbed the bag, and then he just opened up the door, and I'm seeing, and he just like throws them in there, and there was still a crap ton of blood.
if it happened the day before, there's no. It didn't make sense when you said that. The body, especially those kind of wounds, he should have been bled out.
Yeah, 'cause we still,
Within a couple hours. I mean, there shouldn't have been that much. Even if you put him in there 2 hours later, you'd think between
that animal control door, the little utility bed that they have. There was a crap ton of blood still on the ground.
Well, like I say, I think
I think you guys should file a complaint because
the right thing to do is to start a paper trail with this guy, because if nobody starts.
he's got lots of charges. You'd be shocked.
He's been reported before. For
No,
this kind of stuff.
well, for all we know. But here's the thing: you go onto his public records, anybody else's public records, they'll tell you everything. They'll tell you when it happened, what were the details. You could even find the whole police report. His are censored.
Censored.
And there's one that said it was a traffic violation just earlier this month, but he had to get fingerprinted. What traffic violation? Because a DUI is not considered a traffic violation.
right.
So what traffic violation would you have to get taken in and fingerprinted? 3 counts of something.
You know that guy that ran for sheriff, Mike Guavanasco or whatever? He's like this with him. So I know that.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't notice that. We got blood all over this fence post right here. And you can see he was ending up there. He was picked up, blood gets over there. Somehow blood gets over there, thrown over the fence. Landed right there. Walked over there, picked up, and he runs away. While he still has a living dog. Shoots the dog later. Okay, so we have here about a 4-foot tall fence, right? Blood leading up to there. Now what's that? How is that possible? Dog was not big enough, and if he was going to come up here while wounded, he would have just gone through there. But he was obviously trying to get out, and he ended up right there. Where did this blood come from? Probably shooting out of his neck as he was picked up and thrown over this fence. Landed right there, where you can see blood right here, blood all over this stick, blood all over this stick. So somehow this blood gets on this post. 4 feet off the ground. Dog is not even 2 feet tall, and already wounded and walked all the way over here. Clearly, somehow, blood gets there. Splatter of blood there, so we picked him up, threw him over the fence, trying to cover his ass, and walked all the way over here. You can see that very clearly right there. Poor little guy. It is just so absolutely horrible to imagine how much he was suffering, and especially the fact that he came all the way over here trying to get away, and this fucking lunatic whips his truck in here. You can see that's his truck, dualies, double rear tires. Comes in, picks up the dog while he's still alive. So the dog is still alive, completely incapacitated, obviously not a threat. Hightails it out of here with a still living dog. And when we got the dog back the following morning, the dog had 2 wounds, which we have pictures of. So that says all you need to know, doesn't it? You're fucked. Blood right there, all over this fence post. Even standing up on his hind legs couldn't have gotten up there. And why would he? He could just go right through there. And even if somehow miraculously he was able to teleport through this fence, there's no blood between there. There's a constant stream of blood all the way down that fence as he was walking. There's no blood between there and right there. He was thrown over the fence, trying to cover his ass, realized he was on somebody's private property, and did something wrong. And he tried to cover his ass, and he's lied about it ever since. And those people over there claim that this all happened on their property. Bad move. Bad move indeed. Well, I don't know if this has anything to do with my dogs, but that looks like a dog dug that. And she says she only has a tiny little dog. I don't think he's digging that. So I don't know. Maybe they were trying to get away from this psychopath, and that's how they got out. I'm not sure. We're doing a little bit of detective work. I already found where the shot was taken, where the blood was trailing to. And the story by Jill is that she never saw the dog, but she heard the shot over there. And Willie drives his truck on down here, which is not her property, but it's also not her property. That's Ruby Dewey, who claims that all of this happened on her property. Already on record with that claim, and seems to be a lie. So we'll see how she handles that. Also worth noting is Jill said she only heard 1 shot, and they're very sure about having only heard 1 shot, but that dog's body had 2 entry wounds in it at least, possibly 3, although one of them might have been an exit wound. So I believe this would be where he ended up. Spot of blood trailing all the way down there, or from there. Seems probably more likely from there. There's some blood, isn't it? There's some blood right there. Oh yeah. So he ended up on the side of this fence after bleeding. There's more blood, yep. somehow ended up on this side of the fence after being shot. But this fence, a dog cannot get through this side of the fence. They could get through that one. They can't get through here. So he came down here, led to here. Somehow the dog ended up right there. Now, I would guess he threw him over the fence, ran back, grabbed his truck, drove down here, and picked up the body. Oh yeah, isn't that amazing? Actually, he continues fighting. He's not dead yet. Nope, he threw him over the fence. He lands. He's still alive, bleeding out. Trail of blood all the way over here. Or did he just drag him over? I don't know. There's the tire tracks. There's the tire marks. He pulled up here, does a U-turn out, and again, this is not his property. Not her property either. It's not their property, but all this happened on their property. Somehow the dog gets over this fence while after being bleeding and walking about 100 feet. Makes a splatter, probably from being thrown over the fence, trying to cover his ass. Then he gets up and he's still alive, still trying to get away. And he's walking over here. I don't think he had to drag him, being as how he was only about a 35-pound dog. So, looks like he was walking all the way over here. Poor buddy. Poor innocent dog. Little puppy. Good, the best dog you ever imagined. So he made it all the way over here. Still blood, blood. Blood right there on that stick. Blood right there. He pulls up, picks up the dog. Dog is still alive when he picked him up. 100%. 100%. Well, you never imagined that was going to happen.
No,
And to be honest,
and I whistled for them, and and they were up by the pond, and they were just roaming around by the pond and stuff, and
not
they were
viciously attacking your ducks.
no, they weren't.
You have ducks all over. They were just leaving them be,
Yeah, and,
having a nice day.
yeah, and then I went back inside because they were out playing and they weren't coming, so I just went back inside with the collar because I was going to put it back on the dog.
Yeah.
And so I went back in, and I sat down, and that's when I saw the truck pull in.
Yep.
Up there, and then him running. So, and all time can be verified on my text that I text you and called you.
Right.
So.
No, I wish a lot of things. I wish I wasn't working. I wish I had my phone right next to me. I wish I didn't. But you drive yourself crazy. Like it is what it is. At the end of the day, we didn't do anything wrong. The wrong thing to do is obvious. There's no need for.
I was cooking dinner, and Gary looked out the back, and he said, "Jill, there's 4 big dogs out here by the pool." And I said, "Really?" So I came out here, and they were on the pool deck, and they went, I think, down on the steps to try to get a drink.
Oh yeah.
And it's really low and stuff, and so they were up in here, so I called them over right to those steps. They all came to me, and I petted them, and I took the collar off one, and went inside, tried to get a hold of you, get my phone.
An important thing, like you said, if they were, there's no blood, and you petted them, you would have been like, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah.
What?
See, they weren't all worked up, and they weren't nothing on them, so they were all clean, So
It's just murder. I mean, really. But I'm grateful for you in general, because I don't blame. There's no need for thinking what you could do differently. Like, you just never would have imagined somebody would be this fucking crazy, and this is supposed to be private property.
right.
Like, you think you could be safe in one little part of the world, and here it is, and nope, he thinks he can run on. So I had never imagined that they would actually do, like, when I heard stories of him shooting other dogs, I guess I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said, oh, well, maybe they really were. Maybe that, a big German Shepherd running after a cow. Okay, fair enough. Like, maybe, and then you hear stories about Norman and his dogs got shot, and then And then his dogs were out one time, and they had already gathered up the dogs into his truck, and his son and Norman were outside, and they continued, Willie and two other people continued shooting and almost hit his son. And so, I mean, I don't, it's like these people pretending to be like the good guys. These are like the outlaws that used to be around. Like, these are stealing land, shooting people over nothing, and getting away with it because they pay the sheriff. Like, it's still going on, but it needs to stop, man. Because this
cows are waiting for water. Do they come?
Yeah.
When they know there's going to be water out here in front.
Yep.
And I know Gary keeps saying, where is their water supposed to be where they get water? Because they're crying out here a lot of times because there's no water.
Oh.
So.
Well, no, I love the cows. That's the shame. I don't want anything bad to happen to cows either. But, you know, I guess it's just important. Like, so right there, that's not your so that's somebody else's property.
Else's.
And the dogs, and so at that moment, were there cows there?
No.
Okay, there were no cows even around.
No.
Not even right there. Not in your property, of course.
Nope.
And
I didn't see a cow.
So the dogs were just wandering around. They were over by the pool. Then they made their way over there. He runs up. He sees them.
Yep.
Shoots it point blank.
Yep.
And you say you only heard one shot, and I believe.
That's all I saw.
And there was absolutely at least 2 entry wounds. Possibly one of them was an exit wound, but there was at least 2 entry wounds. So I mean, it seems like what you're saying is that he literally took the dog while it was still alive.
Maybe. I never saw the dog.
Yeah. So he was on foot. Then he runs out back to his truck.
Yeah.
And then drives his truck. How does he get in over there?
This is open where the cows are. It's not fenced.
Okay.
It's fenced along the paved road, but it's not fenced up on the cul-de-sac here, so they can go all the way, so he can drive all the way in.
So he drove in around that way.
Yeah.
And he ended up on the other side of your fence there?
You know what? Again, I never saw the dog here. So I'm wondering if the dog got shot there and it ran that way.
Well, it looks like when I was looking at the blood, it looks like it came up because you know your fence right there. They can't get through.
Yeah.
So he was able to get under the fence as he was getting shot. Then he bleeding out and walks over to that fence, and he came up to a wall that he couldn't get through.
Right.
And then at that point, maybe while who knows, maybe he took the dog and tossed him over and realized he screwed up, and he literally threw him over the fence.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go take one more look if I could see. Yeah. Well, I'll go on the other side of the fence actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the same tire tracks leading away from Quail Rock Vineyard. Never gets on the road. Actually, it does right there to crank a U to spin around and get into that driveway. Possibly. Oh, nope, came right there. Went down there. Went around back. So he drove up this way, or he drove out this way. And it looks like it's only one set of tracks. It doesn't look like he drove in and out the same way.
You can see where he drove out here, and you can see when he pulled in.
Oh, so he did pull in this way.
He pulled in this way, yeah.
With his trailer, and then how did he? Oh, and then oh yeah, he went over there. Right.
But if you look, mine are those yours? Those are his. Let me see.
No, that's not mine. Those are boots.
Those are boots right here. Nope. Mine are not like that.
Yeah, let's compare them. Watch your shadow. Oh yeah.
Those are his boots. He's a 9.5, like I thought. That's a 9.5 size boot.
And look right there.
Yeah.
So he ran right through there.
Oh, look. Look, his boot prints are all over here. That way, this way.
Spinning in circles, probably panicking that he fucked up so bad. Look at him. Look like he's literally like fucking spinning in circles right here.
Yeah.
No joke. I mean, what's going on there? How does he have 20 boot prints in this tiny little area? What the fuck was he doing? Loading his rifle, maybe?
Yeah, probably. He's probably looking around as he was loading it. Boom.
All right.
So he can walk over here. Wait a second. Yeah. That might be a baby calf. But what I'm trying to
So you got about 20 of these same boot prints in this area because he parked right here. Then he swung it in with his trailer, swung it in this way. You can see the tire tracks. Drove down that way. Went to go pick up the living body. Brought him over to that house right there while he was still alive. Well, here's the thing. We could trace these tire tracks all the way down the road to her driveway. And if they go straight in there?
They do. Already, they do, because she told me in the text that Lily went over there. Well, she said she didn't know who shot the dog. I said, bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see him drive right off the road, swings his trailer in there, right?
Yeah.
Parks right there, hops out. He's like pacing around or loading his rifle or something. And then, I mean, beelines it over there, hops the fence. We saw where he landed. Shoots the dog, throws him over the fence, runs back, gets his truck, picks the dog up while he's still alive, and brings him over to that house while he's still alive. No?
This ain't private property.
Oh, okay.
This is technically a county. This is county road.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked him and he told me.
Well, who told you?
I looked it up and...
Oh, Gary told you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he drove right there. Yeah. So he was smart enough not to drive on private property, but he was not smart enough to not jump a fucking fence and...
I mean, in here...
They jumped it. Oh, and get your shadow out of the way a bit.
You gotta remember, he's got cowboy boots, so they don't leave a regular print.
Right, but you can see right there, that was where he landed.
Yeah,
His heel.
But you can see there's another heel there, there's another heel there, another heel down there. He ran straight.
Oh, right, because you're only going to see the heels.
Yeah.
He's went straight over to where he shot him, yep.
You see where he walked back?
Well, how far away his feet? Does he say he was running?
This is cattle right here.
I think right here is a boot.
Yeah.
Going this way.
Yeah, maybe it's parked. It's good by the road. I mean, dude, it doesn't take rocket science or an expensive investigation team to determine exactly what happened down here.
No.
So if they refuse to...
That's cool looking. You know what would be cool? So, looks to me like that's where he jumped it right there. See that little push down? In order to get over it, he bent that down. Can you see any prints here? Well, there's a hole dug by dogs here for sure. And it wasn't digging in. There's no pile on the outside. It's piled up on the inside there. So they were digging out. Trying to get away, I guess. I don't know.
We hiked U.S. Constitution again. I read all the 26 or whatever amendments that are added. Then I read.
Well, what's craziest thing is this open range law. If it was presented to the state, they don't recognize it. But like locally, it's this some way that if they call it a law, it's actually there's no law to it. And this so it's we're at that. I really think we're at the tipping point.
There's no law on open range, but there are 9 statutes that pretty much govern it.
All right. Well, can I ask real quick? Would your best guess as to where the shots were fired be? I mean, I'm trying not to get upset about this, but the trail of blood starts there, right? Starts there and goes that way and ends over at that fence. Now, would your best guess be that the shot that you heard was?
It has to be because I saw.
So it was here and not on the other side.
Yeah, see where those 2 posts are holding up our cover over
Yeah.
porch? I was right there when I saw the blast.
Okay, you saw
So
it then.
Has to be.
Yep. Otherwise, he would have been blocked. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and we got a renter moving in. I mean, I told Gary, I said, oh my God, what if she was living here? It's a little old lady that's going to be moving in. If she would have been living here. And
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing right now is you can't be acting like this in this place.
Yeah.
And if you're going to move your cows on out,
Yeah.
there's no good reason for the cows to be here. They have so much room for them. Why are they even here? Because they're trying to have a reason to shoot dogs? Are they that? I mean, it seems like it could be very easily avoidable. Bring your cows up in the mountains where there's no people living.
Right. Well, I know I was worried about my ducks. I thought, man.
Well, we already know so much. They're illegally tapping into a spring on federal.
Up to the house to where
Sure.
they were in the backyard and you know.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, it's like I told my wife. I says, you know, the right thing for us to do is to file a report, and after that, it's up to the DA. If he's an honest DA, he'll pursue it. If not, then there's nothing you can do about it because prosecutors can do whatever they want.
Yeah. So my ex, I have sole custody of my oldest 2 boys. I'm hot for 5 years. And didn't have an attorney. We have sole custody for years.
Whole trail of blood. Still going. Still going. Still going. We ended up right here. This is where he died.
Trailer.
Behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, he already had the horse trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the truck.
Well, because Norman, when you saw him up there, he didn't have the trailer on, did he?
did it. Well.
Or are you sure though? Because you said you saw him.
No. An hour before when I went to your house.
So where does he get the trailer from?
I told you he got it from.
Oh, so he didn't have to go back home to get it. Okay.
I think he keeps his horses there or something.
I don't know.
Because he didn't have a trailer going by. I had him on my camera going by.
Well, you know, the way I look at it is, it's the DA or the prosecutor is going to say, well, you know, I don't know if I can make this a successful case because maybe I don't have enough proof and it's a he said, she said, this and that. But you know what's concrete? He was on this property with a gun and he killed a dog. End of the story. That's felony. And that'll get you fired.
And look at every angle that he could have shot. It could have literally killed somebody. I mean, that's also matters to me. I think that's.
And like I told
what is that, public endangerment or something? I mean,
Our dogs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we
All we
could have
had
had
was a
big
little
dog.
tiny wiener dog.
But I mean,
you know?
say it was one of
well,
our
he
dogs.
killed his chihuahua.
He ran over my dog on purpose. A 9-pound chihuahua picked her up and threw her on my property in front of my daughter. I was at work, and then he killed 2 of my Dobermans that were 8 months old.
And like we wanted to believe that this was that we could be reasonable here, because like he makes it seem like he's all buddy with Norman a lot, like we're cool, and he makes it seem like he's being genuine and polite and respectful. But at the end of the day, he's clearly a sociopath, because you could stare you right in the eye. And he stared him right in the eye and said, "I don't know anything about that." I mean, he just got done killing a dog and had him in his truck at that moment. So he had him in his truck when he said he didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh my, what a nutcase! This is fucked.
Yeah. Well, he knew he was in trouble when he realized he got caught on our land with a gun.
Yeah.
He was smart enough to know, ooh, this isn't good. I better start talking fast or jump the fence and get off this property, or I got to do
Just
something.
be careful.
Interesting.
because Cindy, my friend who lives over there, she has a service dog, a German Shepherd, and
Had.
out of nowhere, by the way, out of nowhere, she has a bunch of property. Her gate is a chain link fence gate like that, and she had closed it. Willie showed up on her property doing donuts in front of her gate. So her dog came running up. Mind you, the dog's not aggressive. He decided to shoot the dog in the ass, and then when Cindy came outside, as he drove off. But then he decided, because she was coming out, then he decided, wow, for whatever reason, she went to go put the collar. He shot the dog after he shot it, but he turned around, came back, didn't even get out of the side by side. Point blank, as she's doing this, shoots the dog dead. So
Did she file a complaint?
they won't touch it. They won't touch it. All he said was, she's 80 something years old. Okay, her dog is a well-trained service. It's not just a service dog that someone says, oh, I have a service dog. It's a legitimate service dog. Don't bite. It stays. You know.
Well, we've got how many coyotes would you estimate are from those mountains to that much? 1,000? I mean, and they really had the nerve to tell Norman one time that they don't view that the coyotes are not a threat at all to the cattle. Okay, maybe not the full-grown ones, but just like you said, just like the tiny little babies. What are you talking about? And what do the coyotes do? They go right for the butthole. I don't believe. Even if a dog was to attack, they would be like yapping at it. They'd be, I don't know, but like, and truthfully, if my dogs did that, I wanted to see proof. I wanted to see. I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to believe that it wasn't this crazy. I wanted to believe like that maybe that was, because if they really were doing what they said, then I wanted to see proof, and I would beat their ass. But I've never seen it. I've never seen it. He's never seen it.
I've seen them around cattle.
There's cows. I have a video. There was cows laying on the ground on my property. We're going to just walk around my property, and the cow doesn't even move. He's just laying there, not even phased by. They had a calf right there. They had two.
Seen his dog shoot some cow?
But I've never seen your dogs until,
Yeah.
you know.
Besides that one last time when I came out here and grabbed them that one time.
Yeah, and
but that was
those
a
were
long
different
time ago.
dogs.
Yeah.
And
No, those were the same ones.
the same dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then they were younger. Then.
Yeah. They were only 1 year, 1 and 2 years old. But
No, Ruby is,
I also the gold one was there at that point. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
well,
She can't stand us, so.
we'll get used to it, because this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and I looked at the law and I contacted my friend. She's an attorney in Arizona.
Oh, I mean, I saw the blast as soon as I hit my backyard.
Yeah.
And then ran over here. And he was walking away, and I was yelling at him to stop, and he wouldn't stop. And he finally turned around and came back to the fence, and that's when I.
Maybe we should be careful to keep some of these tire tracks here.
Yeah.
There's some.
Well, now
Can you see any blast marks from the gun?
I was wondering where the shell.
Right. Well, he crawled under the fence here, so he was already shot here, or that's where he ended up. I don't know. But he went under the fence here.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
All the blood's here and stuff. Okay. So.
I'm gonna take this. This is where
And he was either shot high up, by the way. So there's the blood. And that is still your property. And he drove onto her. There's the tire tracks, the dualies. There's blood over there. And it looks like he definitely wasn't instant. So he walked all the way over here while he was wounded. He walked all the way over here while he was wounded, and he came back. Obviously well, that's pretty fucked up to see, but it is what it is. So the blood tracks all the way down there, and he drives in to put the kill shot on him. Because of course the dog that's bleeding from his neck this much is such a threat that you have to drive onto your property and shoot again.
This is where it is. That's where he died right here, dude. That's where he dropped. Oh, it's getting late to me.
It's just fucking awful.
But like I said, they have been tearing up a cow. There should be blood on our pool deck.
Yep.
There should be blood on them, and there wasn't anything. I cut out one. So.
Yeah. I know for a fact that dogs were out here on Sunday because he was with me for the most of the day.
And the dogs were there the entire day. Yeah. 100%. I was there the whole day on Sunday.
And then my husband finally came out, and he started talking to him. And I went back in. And so then my husband came back in, and then he saw him take his truck and drive it over here along on this property to pick the dog up.
So he could have just thrown him over the fence.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Well, we should be able to see something. If we could look later,
Those are
but
cow trails, huh?
I don't want to take too much time to look. But I'm sure if we really look, we could probably find a spot where he pushed the fence down to jump it.
Yeah.
And then also his tire tracks, I'm sure, are there. And we could probably track where this all happened, I'm sure. But I think the most important thing is just that no matter which way you're looking here.
Yeah, I still say it was over. I'll look over there. You guys go ahead.
Okay.
I'll look over there.
And I was just going to say, I think the most important thing is no matter which direction you're looking right now, there's people living.
Right.
Like pretty close.
He shot straight out this way.
Oh, yeah?
I'm sure it's gotta be up at this fence.
So there's a house about not even a quarter mile that way. Not even close. That's like 1,000 feet. There's a house over there. Shot in that direction. And she was saying he drives up here to pick up the dog. And if we could find, I see his tire tracks right there. And they pull over here. I don't care.
No, those are not tire tracks right here.
No, right there. But he jumps that fence and he's running straight to the back here.
Yeah, but I can't remember how far. Maybe it has to be up in here.
Where he shot the dog? Or?
Yeah. You know, because I know my worker, she came running out, and she covered up the sheep. I think it came across the blood of the way.
So worth mentioning maybe is you got a duck pond right there.
I know.
I mean,
I ran up there to check on my ducks.
and they weren't necessarily
I mean,
causing.
they were all huddled down over by the duck house and stuff. Yeah, I might have to retrace my steps from the house.
Somewhere in this area?
Well, we were at the fence, but he had jumped back over the fence.
So is that the pool that you meant they were drinking from, or were they?
No, we have a swimming pool in the backyard.
Okay, gotcha. So they were over there, and then they ended up over here. No, it's normal. I mean, it's first of all, it's a pretty traumatic experience. So
I haven't been able to sleep.
Me neither.
It's been terrible. I'm so distraught.
Well, that's why exactly I would figured that had to be the case, and I'm like I can't necessarily file a police report for you or whatever, a complaint, but I was thinking of ways I could tell you to like kind of urge you to do something. But I just feel bad getting more people involved in this. But I mean, why do I feel bad when I'm not the guy who came up here and fucking? Sorry, but. Well, we could probably see if we really analyze this fence. We could probably see where he jumped it. And they try to pretend like, you know, they're just these good old hearted ranchers. And anyways, I don't want to. It's not the point. So anyways, you said he parked like where our cars are.
On the opposite side, on the road more so.
Okay.
You know, up by that first pine tree on the right.
Gotcha.
You know, by close.
And then he jumped the gate there.
He ran across here because I could see him from our house. He ran across this property here, which I don't know who owns this property right up here.
Okay.
He jumped this fence. And he came across this way.
I see.
But I haven't been out here since, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I know I ran out the back, and when I got to the top there of the backyard, I saw a shot. I saw the fire go out. But you know what? I never saw the dog.
So, I think what an important thing to clarify too, there was no cows on this where the dogs were. There was no cows at that moment, right? No.
No, when I texted you first,
Yeah.
the dogs were in my backyard. All four of them.
And it was almost as if they were welcomed guests. I mean, not that you planned on it, but I'm just saying it wasn't like you were the one who was so upset about them being here. So it's at that moment, because that's what I was you know, talking to the one officer, and I was just clarifying. I was like, they were not in the act of attacking a cow. Matter of fact, it's becoming clear that attack on that cow happened the day before this.
Right.
And so they're trying to frame it like so they.
Really?
They're trying to frame it to protect themselves. They're trying to frame it like all of this happened on Ruby's property.
The cattle was alive in that photo in the back street.
Huh.
But the deputy said they showed the body. He had to kill this cattle.
Well, he told me right here, he said they killed the cow.
No, it didn't. It was.
And so,
That picture was taken Sunday at 2:53 p.m. And the cat was in the back of his pickup truck. It was alive. It was still up.
right, against the guy for being on our property and
He killed
shooting.
3 of my dogs.
Yeah.
And he killed my friend Cindy's German Shepherd.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the whole point is if we were out way down in the middle of the desert, up in the forest, we're, you know, okay, different way of operating, but this can't bleed over into this community. It's like you can't act the same way. What if they were? I mean, what if there was kids? Or he didn't even care. He just didn't even look where he was.
Well,
Nick has grandkids too. Oh yeah, Nick ended up messaging me.
Yes.
Because Ruby talked to him, and he's like, I never called. I didn't even go outside. I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't even outside whatsoever. All I know is I heard a gunshot, and that was it.
Well,
He came outside and he talked to my worker.
Yeah, he said he never did.
Oh yes, he did.
In the message, but see, Sydney's dog was inside her property, and she's a service dog. And Willie showed up in the side-by-side and started doing donuts in front of her property.
Yeah.
And then the dog, you know, this is property, decided to run up on Willie. Like, and it was nice and saying hi. Willie shot it in the butt and shot it in the face as Cindy was trying to put the collar on him. He never.
I want to believe.
I'm still in, yeah.
On the mountain vista.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so did you see that post that Ruby did?
About how the sheriff told them to file a complaint and all.
Well, and before that, she had a picture of
It's
the
been
dog.
very hard for me to bite my tongue. I'll say that. But I think it's for the best that I don't even get involved, because I think in the end, people are going to realize the truth is going to come to the surface, and going on these groups and me trying to set the record straight, it's not going to help anything. But yeah, it's hard for me to bite my tongue. She says a lot of crazy. She literally threatened me. I have a screenshot of her threatening me months ago.
Who?
Ruby, saying your dogs will get shot.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Not if they're attacking cattle. Say if your dogs are out, they will get shot, she says.
Yeah.
And then she deleted her comment, and then she just goes on this PR campaign. Tell me if this is normal cow behavior. We got a car full of dogs, and the cow's coming to check on his familiar dog friends, I guess. I don't know what they know something happened. What is he doing? That's not normal cow behavior. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah, we lost one because of your...
Hey.
Well, I'm not going to say because of you guys, but... What's up, boy? I mean, I would think if just recently you had dogs, these dogs were ripping apart the asshole of one of their calves, that they wouldn't really want anything to do with us.
No.
And yet they're more curious and comfortable with us than I've ever seen them.
They're not stupid. They're very smart.
No, they're very smart. They know something happened.
Hey.
What happened the other day? I wish you could talk. If you could talk, everything would be settled. Yeah, mama, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, Let's just give him a little song. Give him a little song. It's just interesting behavior, if you ask me. So my property's over that way. Buddy property. Cows over there. We told the ranchers exactly where they were. Every night you hear dozens, maybe hundreds of coyotes in this valley. Big problem with coyotes out here. The ranchers say that the coyotes are not a threat to their cattle. And yet cows keep dropping dead. And when they drop dead and they get notified, even though they already know, they are all tracked. When that happens, they just let them rot. These are people that claim to make use of the entire cow. And they claim that coyotes are not a problem to their cow. And they claim that they didn't shoot the dog yesterday. There's a lot of stuff they claim that comes very clearly to be a lie. So, what should we believe from them? I'd say just about nothing. Coyotes are out here killing cows, killing cats, dogs. Animal control doesn't do anything about the coyotes. They say that's Fish and Game, but Fish and Game says they don't do anything about coyotes. Don't do anything about rattlesnakes either. Now, none of the real threats are actually addressed. They just want to give license to these ranchers to shoot any dog that they feel like they are entitled to shoot. Doesn't matter if it's on your property, closer to the neighborhood. There could be houses right nearby. The rancher's shooting dangerously close in the vicinity of houses. Doesn't matter. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. And you know what? All that would be fine. Okay? If the beef. So right here, what do we have? Oh, just another dead and rotting cow, full grown. $5,000-$6,000 a head. And these ranchers say they care so much about their cattle and their property and their money that they're willing to go to such great lengths to protect them. Go on to private property, trespass, shoot dogs, almost shoot people, shoot in the direction of houses at dogs that have nothing to do with it, just because they find a calf that's injured. Meanwhile, here's a full-grown one, about ready for market. And by the way, these ranchers are not legally allowed to sell this beef. They're doing it illegally. They're not approved by the USDA. And the point that's so crazy to me is that they were notified about this cow well over a week ago. I told them. Me and my people out here, we've told the ranchers many times. And what do? Do they come and try to harvest the hide, any meat? They know all the vital signs of these cows. They're all tagged. They have they know when they die, and they know where they die. And they could come and they could salvage the meat. They could salvage the hide. Even right now, they could salvage the sinew and the bone. And they claim that that's what they do. They claim that they use the entire cow, and they're so morally righteous, and that they're just defending their cattle from these vicious dogs. Meanwhile, when a cow dies like this, probably from coyotes, there's thousands of coyotes out here, or just from getting poisoned, or from being malnourished, trying to survive in the desert. Well, when that happens, they just leave the cow to rot, become a breeding ground for disease. If they die on your property, it's your problem now. Could be spreading diseases, attracting pests, attracting coyotes, and they can't even be bothered to clean up the mess, to bury the cow, to make use of the cow. Nope, they just let it rot. That's how much they care. Tells you all you need to know. All this would be okay, if the beef that was being raised here was going to anybody in this community, anybody in this town, anybody in this state. Nah, but what are they doing? They're illegally selling them to foreign markets, trying to find loopholes in the law so they don't need to have a USDA approval, selling them to China. So we don't get any of this beef. But we're supposed to allow the ranchers to do whatever they want. Nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. And murder. They say a dog at large, dogs at large. We got a murderer at large. And we've got the police protecting and serving murderous criminals. End of story. Yeah, I would estimate out here, there's got to be 1,000 coyotes in this valley. Every night you can hear them yapping and killing stuff. And the ranchers actually have the nerve to say that they don't think the coyotes are a danger to their cattle. Or to their young calves that they just leave out here. They have no shelter for their cows. They have no shade. They don't give them any extra supplemental feeding. Barely give them enough water. This is what they have to survive on as their only food source. Looks like a great time. Not only that, the coyotes are absolutely a huge problem out here. And nobody will do anything about it. They'll tell you to go shoot them yourself, but I'd like to believe animal control would care about the coyotes or rattlesnakes, all the actual threats out here, the murderous psychopaths that are going around justifying killing innocent dogs because they say that it injured one of their calves. And we've already seen how much they really care about their cattle. So they'll just leave a full-grown cow on the ground to rot, won't do anything to try to harvest anything from that cow. Nope, just let it rot. That's anybody's problem other than theirs. I'm sure it spreads disease. Who cares? Ranchers don't got to deal with that. No. But they're so worried. And they're so convinced that the problem is dogs. So all these cows, they really have convinced themselves that the problem is dogs and not coyotes. So when they found a calf with its butthole chewed open by, isn't that what coyotes do? Yeah. But no, these coyotes are different. These are different kind of coyotes who actually don't try to kill innocent young little tiny calves. Nope, blame my dogs. Come and trespass on people's land and shoot them and endanger their children, and people have nothing to do with this. That's how much they care. And you know, all that would be believable if we got even a percentage, 1% of the beef that's grown and raised out here. Nope, it's sold illegally. Nobody here gets any of the beef. This is the end of this era of Old West absolute insanity. I love the Old West, but this is everything that was ever wrong with it. And it stops right now. I don't know why the cows are acting like this. They're just staring us down. Look at these guys. What is it? If you guys could talk, man. If you guys could talk, we'd be...
But, it costs $356 to file. And the judge if the judge dismisses it, he has to...
Yeah, we got a bunch of cows just lounging. Got 5 dogs running around. I don't think these cows are worried about the dogs. I think they know that they're not a threat. That seems pretty obvious. Good job, guys. Yo! Good dogs. Straight up chilling here.
Working fair to do bodily harm or whatever, because no one on my property but me should have a gun because no one else owns it. So he decides that, so if I see him, and theoretically I shoot him, then it should be, he goes, no, you will be charged with murder. That's what he said. And I said, alive. Okay. I was around here.
So it was, you saw it it was alive yesterday?
It was alive. No, it was in that picture on February 9th. It was alive in the back of the pickup truck. It said clearly February 9th. All right, but I'm in the process of getting that photo.
And again, on that aspect,
Yeah.
the range detective can go into further detail of how that works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My job is...
I also have, you guys ain't gonna be able to do shit. We've been in tight with the sheriff's office for hundreds of years.
That I don't...
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care who it is. I'm a very honest person.
Yeah.
If somebody's doing wrong, and my job is just to do my job.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna do it that way.
But I'm just saying, I was watching Super Bowl and he was here on Sunday. It was my son's birthday, so I have very detailed mind. And them dogs were not out there.
Already happened, so it's not happening now, and it's related to that case. So the best thing you can do is just call tomorrow at 7. I don't know what the issue is about waiting until 7.